Hello everyone. Haven't made a video in, coming up on a week now. It's my work schedule. It's really weird. I have like a shorter number of really long days, but I work overtime on occasion. So yeah, I've got like time for eat, work, come home, eat, shower, sleep, go back to work. It's annoying. Especially because of current administration, current news cycle, shit just popping off left and right, and I can't say a damn thing about it on camera because I'm at work or I'm sleeping, or I'm too freaking worn out from the day to. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into some topics today. Nothing particularly breaking. I mean, I know I'm using my breaking news like camera angle here, but just calm down. Nothing major. Just trying this out. I kind of like this setup. So, first off, I wanted to share some observations I've made recently. A personal, like a revelation, and that revelation is that corporations lie. Shocker, I know, but try to remain calm. Just deep breaths and just let me explain my reasoning here. Whenever a company says, and we have a lot of this going on recently because of the net neutrality and the Affordable Care Act repeal and replace and Trump Care and things like that. But so you hear it a lot more recently. Whenever they say that like a tax or regulation is going to cost jobs, or it's going to be a job killer, or it's going to stifle innovation, those they are quite simply bullshitting you. Now, let me explain. Well, actually, I'm going to say this. Okay, so they're bullshitting you. They're lying. But why would they do it? Are they evil? Are the corporations like genuinely evil? Well, honestly, I believe CEO, chief executive, like CEO positions are some of like the high, like attract some of the most psychopaths. But that is like that's another story for another time. The short answer is no. A corporation is not evil, but they're also not good. A corporation as an entity is really amoral. There really is no. I said there's no good, there's no evil. They don't have morals. Period. One way or the other. A corporation is an entity that is entirely profit driven. In fact, I believe that is one of the few like fiduciary responsibilities that a corporation, especially a publicly traded corporation, has, is that they are legally bound to to produce the highest return on investment for their shareholders, and that is it. That's it. Period. Full fucking stop. They exist to provide a return on an investment, and the biggest return on an investment that they can. So when you look at a corporation through that lens, through the lens of the one and only thing that drives them is to increase profits, everything starts to make more sense. Like, for instance, they want lower taxes because they want more money. They want deregulation because less oversight, less requirements means that they can use cheaper materials building products and use lower standards for testing and quality assurance, and that saves them money. It makes them more money in the end. So the fact that these regulations and protect the public, protect the public and protect their customers, and that these taxes go to pay for the roads that their materials are trucked in and out on, pay for the police and the fire department to protect their assets, is irrelevant. Their only purpose on this earth, their only legally binding purpose, is to produce a higher return on investment, to produce more profit. So basically, they're basically so essentially, if you were, mark my words on this too, say if, right now, one of the things going through the process is that the GOP really wants to I believe they want to essentially cut the corporate tax rate in half. They want to cut it down to 15%. Now, if that happens, because, and this is of course the reasoning, is that, okay, well, the standard trickle-down economics kind of bullshit that has, even George H.W. Bush himself called voodoo economics, is that basically the concept that they try to justify with this is that, oh, well, you lower the taxes, and because they're saving so much on taxes, and you deregulate, and because they don't have to deal with any of those horrible burdens put on them by the government, they flourish, and they make so much, they grow so much, and make so much more money, that even at those lower tax rates, you still get the same or more tax revenue from them. It's a load of crap. It didn't work under George W. Bush. And it didn't work under Reagan. It may work for a little bit, but then crashes. It's inflate. It's like artificial growth. It's not real, tangible, long-lived. It's the carbs of economic growth, if you will, not the protein. So it's quick, it burns fast, and then it goes out. But anyway, that's why what they're saying, why they want to cut the taxes. And of course the corporations want the taxes cut because it means they get more money. More money to their shareholders, more money to the people that they serve. But mark my words on this. If that were to go through, and if we were to slash corporate tax rate, give it 5 years, hell, they might be particularly brazen and do it year after next, maybe 2 years. They will be right back lobbying for even lower taxes. Because more money. And when you look at it from that lens, it makes perfect sense that they want less regulation, they want lower taxes, and they will keep pushing. If the corporate tax rate in this country was 1%, you would still have companies lobbying to get rid of it. Because it would make them more money. Now, okay, so corporations are entirely profit driven. They don't give half of a shit about anything else, about the environment, about the people, about the government, the country that they're in, nothing. They just want to make more money. And if it's not relating to that, they don't care. So given that, what do we do? What does that mean? How can we make our lives better, make the country better, given that kernel of that little bit of info? And quite simply, you start ignoring the companies. For a long time, for years and years and years, big corporations have had a major sway in our government. I mean, one recent example is for instance, Hillary Clinton in her the leaked sort of Wall Street speeches said that she wanted to bring in people from the financial industry to help write our financial regulations because, oh, well, people in that industry know best and know the system the best. And I think most people that paid attention to that felt that it was an absolutely horrible idea, and they were correct, because they can't be trusted. A corporation you can't trust them. Like, that's because the only thing that they will do is what will be in the best interest for them in their industry. Period. It will, no matter what they say, that's what they're going to do. And that's the problem in our government. Like, and I feel that the voting public, mainstream media, things like that, they have been a bit too complacent. Now with the public, I don't really, I don't put any blame on the normal people out there, because in a way it kind of makes sense. Like, you don't think of a corporate entity as being an amoral thing that cares about profits and absolutely nothing else. You want to at least try to make them seem like they're human or similar. But especially with the media too, they just completely ignore it. They take it at face value. They put shit on about how these weapons deals that we pass are good because they'll create jobs. And we can't cut military spending because that could hurt the arms industry. So they're absolutely complicit in this as well. But especially with our politicians. The idea that a politician can say in public that they want industry insiders to have any hand in writing regulation on that industry should be taboo. It should be like no. That is a stand that will get your ass booted out of office, because it's obvious. You can't trust these groups. You cannot in any way allow them to have power, because they will then fashion rules and regulations or deregulate in the ways that help their business, and to hell with everyone and everything else. I feel I've gotten a little off topic, off my train of thought here on this, but let me get back on track. On where we can go. Where can we go from here? With the assumption that a corporation is uncaring, is amoral, and will only ever care about basically its bottom line and how it can improve it. How do we regulate? How do we pass laws? How do we work our tax codes in a way that's more beneficial to us, to the majority of the country? And that's pretty simple. Like I said, a company is entirely amoral. They're concerned only about profits. So in a way that can be used to our advantage and leveraged to our advantage is that as long as ultimately they might bitch, they might piss and moan, they might complain, but ultimately, if a company can still make money, they will continue to make that money. No matter how many regulations, no matter how high the taxes are. You could double corporate taxes today. And as long as they can still make a profit, they'll keep making the profit. They will continue to bitch and complain about how high their taxes are, but you'll notice they won't go out of business. They won't falter. They won't stop making products. They will continue chugging along, making profit, and bitching about how they can't make more. And that's essentially it. And that is how we move forward, by realizing that, yes, in fact, we can regulate business. We can we can regulate the hell out of business. We can tax the hell out of them. And as long as they still make a profit, they will take it. And they will just keep going along, and they will just bow their head and do what they're required to do. Why? Because they can still make money off of it. Look at, like, case in point, Walmart. Walmart in America pays their employees shit wages. They have very poor health insurance, very poor benefits and practices, barely any sick leave. Like, there's a thing, sorry. I actually worked at Walmart for a few months when I was 18. And if you took a sick day, they wouldn't pay you for it. You had sick days, but you had to take at least 2, and you would not get paid for the first one. Oh, shitty, right? And so they do all those practices. They've been dragged into court multiple times for not paying for wage complaints and working off the clock, things like that. And they're also vehemently against unionization. In fact, there was, I believe, one section within Walmart. It was their meat cutting, like fresh, like butcher kind of shop type department. Years ago, they actually did unionize. Walmart just killed the whole division because they didn't want it to spread. They didn't want, okay, now the tire shop wants to be unionized. Now the whole store wants to be unionized. They didn't want that, so they just cut out that division, just got rid of all of it. So and every time, they complain, oh, well, we can't pay our workers $15 an hour because we couldn't afford it. We can't pay this tax or this tax because it would kill jobs and it would we just couldn't afford it. We can't provide these benefits because we couldn't afford it. It would drive up prices or it would harm our business too much. But then you look at Walmart elsewhere. You look at Walmart in, for example, Germany, where I believe they have a shorter work week. The company is required by law to provide a fairly significant, I forget how many, but I want to say it's like 30 or something, like a pretty significant amount of days, paid days off for their employees every year that are fully paid. They're required to have fully paid sick leave. They're required to pay higher wages. They're required to provide all kinds of things for this regulated through the government to their workers that they're not required to do here. As a result of these oppressive government regulations, has Walmart pulled out of Germany? No. No, they haven't. They still operate there despite all these job-killing and stifling and horrible regulations that they're put under. They still operate because they're still making money. And it goes to the point that, yes, you can in fact regulate an industry or a company or corporation as much as you want. You can tax them as much as you want. And as long as that corporation is still making a profit, they'll do fine. And they will continue to do fine. They will continue to try to expand their business, to grow their business, and to provide more profit and return for investment that way. And that is something we need to move towards, a concept, a thought, a way of thinking towards corporations in this country as that they are soulless, amoral entities, care nothing about profit. And as long as they can still make a profit, you can do whatever you want. You don't have to worry. You don't have to be concerned that, okay, well, these regulations are going to end up with more people out of work, or these regulations are going to end up with, less jobs or less innovation. You don't have to worry about that, because as long as there's money to be made, there will be a company there to make it. So, I've got more on this, but I think I will just go ahead and end this here. Oh, well, before I go, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. especially comment. Like I said, I'd like some feedback. Give me your thoughts on this subject or any subject really. Let me know how you feel about the videos, and the way I'm shooting them. Suggestions, comments, whatever. So, see you next time.